Hi everybody, Martin at Flicking Feathers again today, and I'm back with another hair bug video. This is the second video on the stacking series, I suppose, and this is the first fly, which is the crazy leg spider or the rubber leg spider. It's basically just a wee kind of slow fishing burbly bug, which you'll see as we go, but it's relatively straightforward. As far as these flies go. Now I've got my hook and my vise. This is a Pt.2 8089. It's quite a light wire stinger, big for its size. This is a size 6. So the size of a 1/0 Gamakatsu B10S or a 1 in the filling mill, but it's a lighter wire. Now I'm going to tie the Weedguard in, and I'm actually going to go a wee bit further forward. I'm going to just leave myself basically a stack room at the front clear, right, and run this back. This is something you can do. Oops, try that again. This is something that you can do to help you, because you're taking the shape of the arbor of what you're tying on, the shape of the shank, which is round, and you're making it more of an oval, which means the material, the deer hair, is less likely to let it rotate when you don't want it to, right? It's very easy to slide round a perfectly round shank, but this is slightly different. Obviously it's a different shape, and it means that the hairs, I mean, you only want to rotate the first bunch onto the bottom, so this helps lock it in place. So I've run that down like halfway around the bend as normal, and then what I'm going to do is cement this all along, right? I don't use super glue because the super glue isn't waterproof, right? I know a lot of folk use it and all that, but it becomes brittle. I mean, and it even does say that if you buy Zappagup, it says on their packaging that it's not waterproof. So that, I mean, I don't know, believe them. Right, I'm getting a decent base of thread on here. Right, again, this is the sort of thing, the old-fashioned view, I've said this before on videos, but the old-fashioned view when it comes to deer hair is that you want to go on a bare shank, but you can easily spin or stack on a dressed shank, right? The hair will do what you want it to, but when you do it like this, what you also end up with is like when when this is all tied up like this and the cement has set, it gives you a base that stops your packs from sliding forward, right? When you pack backwards and you pack your knot, it stays where you pack it, right? If you pack it on a bare shank, you squeeze it and then it comes forward, you squeeze it and it comes forward, which isn't really any use. Right, so I kind of rubbed the excess that was there off, let that, and that the first coat's set now, so I'm just going to come in, catch them again, and I'll just give that a light coat. Right. Whole thing though, underside as well. I mean, you can use a water-based cement as well if you prefer, but the main thing is you just want all this sort of bound up and well secured, right? So all you need for this fly is some rubber leg and some deer hair basically. So I'm going to sort of mix up the colour. I'm going to do a kind of yellow and orange and red. So I'll get a few strips here, say 10 or 12 legs will do me. So 4 yellow, we'll do 12, 4 yellow, 4 orange, 4 red. Now the red and the orange that I'm using are barred, the yellow isn't, but that's fine. What? I'm just using round rubber, you can use whatever you like. You know, you can use silicone, flex floss or span flex is very good, it's very durable, and it'll probably outlast a deer hair body on your bug, to be perfectly honest. So look at my 4, the patch of yellow that I had was a wee bit longer, so we'll just cut it so they're roughly the same. And then I'm going to come forward enough so that I can put quite a big stack of deer hair on over the tie-in point of these legs, right? I don't want to try to fight it and hide it, I'm just going to make myself a big enough base that I can put a whole stack on top of it. So I'll come in and fold them over at the midpoint, get them cut in. You might need to, because you're doing separate bunches and all that, you maybe have to move them around. There we go. Right. And get that nice and tight and go back and touch and turns. Right, I don't want any bumps of rubber coming up through. And I'm going to come back from, I've tied that, the first section's just in front of the point of the hook, and I'm coming back to the start of the bend, more or less, right? On this hook it's sort of between the point and the barb. Fold these back. Put it nice and tight. Now, you stretch all these and I'll back the thread off. Oops. Just to try to get the flat, smooth base to tie these on, or tie the deer hair on I should say. And again, touch and turns. I'm no fussed about this bump at the front, right? That'll be in between the stacks, and you can sort of if you want to, you can sort of pull the legs around, try to get them to sit however you want, but it really doesn't matter. Right, I'm going to throw a half hitch on here, and that's my tail. I don't need to worry about separating these or anything at this stage, so I'm going to take a bit of masking tape come up from underneath. Gather this on. And I will just keep this out of my way, especially when I'm trimming it. No, it's a wee bit long, so just do it that way. Right. This way, I've got a nice clear indication of where to stop the razor blade. So as I said, yellow, orange and red. Now, I want plenty of hair in this bug. Before that half hitch. On the place where I'm going to tie it in. And I can get my hair. Now I'm going yellow on the belly. So that nobody annoys me about putting the light colour on the top. Right, I'll put the red spots. So cleaning this up, as usual, brush all the rubbish out. Right, be thorough. Now, because this bird doesn't really have a skirt, we'll just take the tips away. No need to leave them in. Right, and this is exactly what we did in the first video where I showed you like how to stack, right? So I'm just going to catch this on, 1, 2, sort of cinch down, catch that better in the middle. 1, 2, sort of cinch down, and we'll just walk it to the bottom, tighten that up. Now I can just see here that I have actually slipped forward, so I'm just going to move it back and then tighten again, right in that space. Right, as I said, I want this right on the right in the back there. Right, I don't want any gap. Take a big bunch of orange. Right, about the same size. Right, I mean, I'm talking a good couple of pencils here. If you're measuring it by pencil, a good couple, maybe 3. This orange here, it's nice and coarse, but it's no the longest. I could do a bit more length, but we'll see how we go. Oops. Again, clean it out. There's a bit here that seems to be kind of gripping and dirty, so just throw it away. The bunch is too small now because I lost that bit, so I'll just sit it down. Right, it's fine. You don't need to discard the whole load. Get another bit. Come in, clean it. There we go. Just sit them together, pick them up. Easy. I can just see I've got one wee black hair in here somehow. Picked it up off my desk. It's only one hair, but take it away. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing, but before that, don't forget your liquid fusion. Good blob on there. Healthy amount. Just come up, get that in. 1. In the space. See how you are. Pinch it, flare it. And you can see what you think. That's not bad, that's nice and tight. Push it back. Let's see. Should have good separation there. Now, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day actually about, like, after that first video, he says he finds it very difficult to go through between the bunches or to work the thread forward. What you can do, if you find it hard, is you can just sort of split this, right, just separate it, make yourself a wee gap, and just work the thread up, right, and then what I'm going to do, pull everything back, shorten this up, and take all the stretch, right, take any slack, right, and then I'll come in really close. Don't move your hook in your vise. Yeah. And put my half hitch in. And I'll get my packer and I'm going to push the knot and the hair back in here, right? And this will gain me a bit of space and it will stay where I put it. Right, I can even grab that, a bit of tension in the knot there again, right, and that moved back and it didn't come forward again. So I'm going to knock my thread forward to give me some space. I've got a right big, and then again another good big bunch of yellow. Flatten it, clean it. Take a bit of tips. I'm going to come in from the front, offer this in, pivot and back, 1, 2, into my third, a wee bit tight, put it, walk it under. Flare that with a nice steady draw. Happy enough. Orange, now I want my orange to be about half what the yellow is, because I want to balance the amount of hair top and bottom, right? Not to put my scissors. A wee bit more. Open that out with my thumb and my forefinger, come in, again clean it, get that under far away. Tips. Now, I find it a lot easier to come in from the front, right? If I try to go like this with this first bunch, it kind of rocks up at an angle. Right, so I'll come in from the front, sit it flat, and pinch everything back, and work my thread up, use the bobbin holder to get me down. Same again, forgot my liquid fusion again. Because I've disturbed this, I just want to come in now and sort of separate things, make sure the hair's where it wants to be, or where it should be, where I want it to be. Right, same as before, wee blob. This just makes for a really durable bug. So, come in from the front. Hold everything back. Come over. Drop that down and through. Drop that down and through. Over again. Now before I do anything here, I'm just going to have a wee look. I don't want to have dragged any hairs. I haven't. So pinch, cinch it down, and then top and bottom, steady draw. Right, now my red, again I want about half of what I put in with the yellow. This red's a much nicer bit of hair. Come up. With this one, I don't mind, I can come in on top because I've already, so just a wee bit of fluff in there I didn't like. With this bunch, still enough. I can come in like this because I've already made the space, and just come up, a straight wrap. That's just enough just to sort of stop it moving. Again, check, come up, go down the same path, pinch, and then tighten it down. Flare that here. Now, at this stage it looks like the hook's pretty full, but it's really no. Right? So I'm going to give it a, going to sort of separate it, top and bottom. Right, I don't want the material that's for underneath going on top. I'm just going to push that back, and I'm not mudding it with pressure, just a bit. Right. You see, it's expanded again slightly, but nothing like where it was. If there's a few hairs, now this is a thing, you know, these individuals, it's up to yourself. You can draw them back up before you sort of finalise anything. And I'm not usually that bothered, to be honest, but. And then, same as before, right, if you want to make yourself a wee channel with your needle, you might find that easier. Right, that's that, it's up. I'm going to put everything back, shorten my thread, pull the slack, right, you'll feel it, it'll move slightly, right, and then get right in there, your 3 or 4 wraps. Put that back. I'm going to pack it again again, this way I'm pushing the knot back as well. Hold, tighten. Right, and I've really rammed some extra hair on there, right? And it's just repeat, right? Getting a good big bunch for the belly. Even though you're cutting it off, you need to balance it so that, because I've got roughly this, more or less the same amount, you can see the front edge is like flat, right? I don't have the top with the two bunches leaning away forward. That just makes your life difficult. So come forward again. Trim this off. The tips. In from the front, take a loose wrap, slightly cinch it another, then into my third, walk it under, and then flare that hair. Again, I'm going to come in with my needle. I might have dragged some of these orange, right, just with the bundle moving. That's pretty good. Still a couple of hairs. Okay. Again, nice and clean, nice and flat. Just make sure that's nice and flat on the top. Now, again, less orange than yellow. Open it and clean it. And then I forgot my liquid fusion again. I'm just putting a drop on, right? You don't need loads of glue. I just find this is, I think the bug is more durable than if you cement the hitch between. It might, it might be sort of my imagination, but I do think it makes for a very tough bug. As far as deer hair bugs can be tough, a well-made deer hair bug will last you several baths. I mean, several, 20, 30. Right. Pike and all that is a different story, but right, so because the hook's getting a bit more full, I'm going to come in and press that a wee bit just to put a crease in, just for the thread to kind of go, and then come down and through. Right. Now I can see already that I've trapped a couple of hairs that I don't want to trap, so come back. You can remove them, you can pick them out, but if you spot it in time, you might as well just okay, I don't know where my battery cut out there, but I'd taken it off, and I had because I'd caught a couple of hairs. Now I've already made the path with my thread from before, so it should just go in without too much worry about catching anything. Just go round, pinch that, support the hook eye and pull down. Right, now I'm holding it top to bottom because I want this to be a nice orange border, no a orange spot. wee bit of red, maybe a bit more. I can just come in on top. Sneak my thread in, see how we are. Again, wiggle up through, down the space. Pinch from the sides, cinch that in. Get a wee press with my fingers. See how we are, make sure it's nicely on top. Come in with my needle. And I mean, how fussy you want to be is entirely up to you. Right? I mean, these flies take 45 minutes to an hour to tie anyway, so I don't mind spending a wee bit longer, being a wee bit fussier, try to get them how I like. Make a wee gap, encourage the thread up, everything out the way, shorten, put it tight, shorten it again, draw the slack in, and then come in. Two, three. At this stage I can get a half hitch on with the tool, which lets me just position it a bit easier than using my finger. Put back, and then same as before, I'm going to pack everything, the knot as well. Hold that, get a bit of extra pressure on the knot, and it grips, right? So you can see now I'm starting to get that set of bunches. Now I don't know if I can get a third band on the top of this. I might just do I'll go for the 3/8 and I'll probably fill my hook here. I've not got a ton of space, obviously. So I'll just go big with my bunches and just make sure and fill it. I want to, when this is on, before I'm doing any trimming or packing, I want the hook eye to basically disappear, right? And obviously, as you come to the front, it gets harder because you don't have the space. Just hold everything. Just need to hold everything and kind of get it in as best you can. Sometimes you'll find it easier if you grip from the front, get your thread wraps in, but you do need to come in and check before you spin or before you flare it that you've not caught anything from behind. Right, that's 2 into my third. sort of walk it under, put that tight, and that's come in pretty good. Again, use your needle, get these hairs sitting where you want them to go. Get that clean separation. Orange, good big bunch. Less than the yellow is, obviously. And we'll try to put a red spot as well. I mean, the other option is a full yellow face, which probably makes the bug easier for you to see. You know, you're going to be fishing, if you're fishing for largemouth bass, your top water bites in kind of low light conditions usually, right, like in the early morning or in the evening. A bright bit of yellow. There for you, nice and visible. So again, I kind of come in from the back, I'm going to come in from the front. Just put a wee crease, come up, drop them over. If I've missed a couple of hairs, I don't care. Catch them. Just keeping a wee bit of tension, but I'm no tightening it. See how we are. Pinch, cinch it down, flat, again. Making a space. Stick a yellow, a red dot, sorry, again on the top. Okay. The last thing, once this is done, I need to let it dry, let all that glue, the liquid fusion, let all that set up. Yeah, check, side to side, pinch, really tighten up. Right, and the hook eye's in there somewhere. I can just about see it. So obviously I need to push that back with my fingers first, just to get that hook eye visible. I can see it, you'll not be able to see it in the video. Just to show you what I'm doing when I do this, I'm just coming in, creating a wee track to bring the thread up. I would always just sort of go through the space, or well, sort of try to get through the line of the bunches, but as I say, my mate was said he found that kind of hard. You can always use your needle to help you when you're tying these flies. So I'm just going to come in, use my half hitch tool, right, before I pack in and any further, just to sort of get that thread fixed round the eye, right in front of all that here. Pretty happy with that. A couple of stray hairs, but can get them with the tweezers. So same as everything else, right, I'm going to come in, all the other bunches, pull that back, take the stretch out it, any slack, it's no stretch, it's slack, right, for you throwing the bunches of, you know, you've got 2 wraps on your, or 3 wraps in your yellow, 2 or 3 in your orange, 2 or 3 in your red, depending how many wraps of thread you like. Right, now that's obviously super tight for space, so I'm just going to press it back a wee bit. Get my half hitch tool. That lets me position it right in there. Do another one. Right, that's 2 half hitches. Now I don't need to worry about whip finishing this because I'm going to tie off the Weedguard obviously later. But same as before. And now I've got a clear eye. Right, you can see the hook eye's clear there. And it's just the hook eye, right? I mean, this is absolutely full of hair. Trim that away. So I'll come back and finish this once everything's dry. Before I do anything, like a way to trim or whatever, I'm going to come in. I can see I've dragged a couple of orange hairs. If I can, I'll pull them up. I mean, look, it's no the end of the world. Right, this is a pretty good bug it's going to be. Right, so there you go. We'll be back later. Okay, so I'm back, right? It's the next day. The flies had plenty of time to sit. The liquid fusion is obviously cured fully, and then you'll maybe notice that the front of it sort of went forward a bit. That's because I held it over a kettle, like just boiling kettle, let the steam hit it, and it makes the hair spring up, and that means it's now ready to trim. So on the Taps bug video, I got a comment yesterday just asking how I end up with these like half blades. It's dead easy. Take your blade while it's still in the paper, fold it, you'll hear it cracking. Now when you open it, these are double wrapped, these Dorco blades. When you open it, you've got half a blade. Right. You don't need to break them, you can keep them together, but I always find it better. Like, I know that like, this one's sharp and the other one's still in the paper. Right, so what I'm going to do is trim this, the crazy leg spider. Basically I'm going for this. Right, this is what I want to end up with. Just a wee kind of hump, basically a wee round lump of deer hair. And then I'll stick some legs in it and some eyes on. So as always, take the first cut in on the belly. So just take a hold of it, and I'm going to come in. I'm not going to come in super close the first time. I'll come quite close so. And again, I would say this isn't something really to do at your desk, at your tying desk. You know, find better going outside and doing it or something, or doing it over a bucket, like a 5 gallon bucket, to catch all the hair. And I'm going back. Get that in relatively flat, right? I don't. This isn't the final cut. This just gets me more or less where I want to be, and I can straighten it up. I'm a wee bit squint, but it's close enough at the moment. Then we come in, pick a line, just come back, and I'm sliding the blade like this, so that the blade's actually slicing. I'm not just pushing it into the hair, right? I'm letting the blade cut. Try to keep this on the camera for you while I cut it, but it's kind of tricky. So I sort of roughed out my sides, more or less, right? And then I'm going to come up from the hook eye, bend the blade into a curve, and I'm just going to come along. Right, and I've got a rough shape. Now I'm clearly too high. That's fine. I can just come back again, and you'll see here I'm actually moving the bug. Right. I'm in this case I'm holding the blade steady, and I'm turning the bug just to sort of try to get a relatively even curve. Still a wee bit big, but we're getting close. So I'll come in and take this back. I mean, with these bugs you can trim them for hours if you want to. Everybody always says that when they talk about this, but it is true. I mean, you just keep coming a wee bit at a time, a wee bit at a time. Once you get these first cuts off, you're just shaving tenths of a millimetre off it at a time. Just knock the corners off the belly. It's always worth looking from below. Again, sometimes it helps to shut one eye, because the colours, the bands of the colours can throw your eye out when you look at it with both eyes open. The bands make you think it's a slightly different shape. And I've I've not trapped any hairs in this one, but if you do, you'll see them and you can come in with your dubbing needle and just take them out. And just keep trimming. And this is a great pattern. See, like flies like this, see when it's the days that they'll look perfect for going out and fishing bass bugs, basically. Calm, cloudy. You don't need a big loud popper. They're great because they'll still burble, and you can make a bit of noise with them if you really need to, but they I'm just coming out the front here, clearing it to the eye slightly. But I mean, these really lend themselves to just getting them a wee burble and then letting them sit and just let the legs move on their own, basically. I'm getting quite close with the blade, and you can see I'm just taking off by tiny increments. And I'll look at it, look at the belly. And your belly should be like absolutely solid, especially right that there's you can't even see the gaps between the hair. I'm just tapering that into the tail is. Again, a wee check from the front. And I mean, this is already plenty good enough to fish. You know, you can decide when you're happy. I would say that's probably no bad. Put it in my vise. Get a ping. See, there's still dust coming off it. And that flick, that just with some that I'm just kind of lay in, you know, I'm not quite happy with that. It's not just smooth. I mean, again, this is not for the fish what I'm doing here, this is purely for my eye. I think I'll call that good. Now I'll get some legs. We put the legs in pairs, so we'll do a mixture. Why not? And this is where you get your Whitlock leg puller, right? There's a video, I made a video the other day how to make these. Don't use a Zuddy's puller, you'll mess up all your nice bodywork, right? You've done all that nice stacking. I should maybe put a red band there, but oh well. And then I'm going to come in. I'm aiming, say about a third of the way along the body, something like that, and just above the shank. If you're hitting the shank, you'll need to lift your point up a wee bit. Come through. Try to make sure it's nice and straight. Draw that through. Your legs will come no problem. You can just draw them in. And you can see that gives you like minimum, very minimal disturbance of the deer here. Right, it's no damaged your bug, right? And you don't need to glue them or anything. That's enough. Another one of these. Another yellow. And just the same again. We'll come in. Maybe there. Sort of similar. Similar position. Come through. Draw them in. And I like the front set of legs to be a bit longer than the back set, so I'll fold them back. And I'll trim them off so that the tips are at the same place, right? Which means you've got a kind of tapered leg length, right? This set of legs are actually slightly shorter than these, so your bugs, the shape of your bug, you know, you got a kind of V shape of the outline of it. Eyes, probably just put a white eye in this, I think. Pearly eye. I like the doll eyes with the stem. I said that in another video, I think. Now what I like to do is, on this bug, I like the look of it if you leave the stalk quite long, and the socket that you burn is really to take the stalk rather than the eye. It still gives you a right nice surface to glue to and all that. You know, it's very strong because there's plenty of surface area connecting to the goop. I'm just going to come in with my masking tape again. It's just temporary, just get these out of the way. I like to put the legs on first so that I kind of let I know where everything is, where my space is for the eye. I find it actually easier to make sure I get the eyes even. So, get my zapper on the go. and they're quite deep. And you must clean that out, right? All the burnt bits of hair, they've got to come out. Okay. Just above. So obviously you want this in the same place or as close to as you can get. You do have a wee bit of leeway. You know, you can sort of push at the socket and what have you when you're gluing things in. Right, and this doesn't have stink, I'll tell you that. Again, you can use a toothbrush or something as well if you to clean these, but I just kind of scrape it out with the dubbing needle. I think that's fine. The glue is good. And be generous with your glue. Right, I've got a decent amount there and I'm just going to push this right into that socket. Right in. Basically filled the socket. And I'm going to see how that is. Push that wee eye in. I think actually get my needle behind it there slightly, and that's, I mean, you can slightly sort of shunt them about so you get them exactly how you like, and then get another blob, and the same thing, get it right in there. Be generous. Drop that in the drawer. Same thing. Get that in. Push it right in, push it hard. Now I don't like this, these are slightly different, so you can just adjust them. This is the beauty of the goop, you've got plenty of time to work with them. I mean, the fish don't care, but obviously we do. You know, you don't want if your fly looks weird, we don't like it. Happy with that, they're nice and even, top and bottom. Front to back, they're fine. And then the last thing is just to fit the Weedguard. So, a wee bit of plastic, put the hole in it. Better actually release all this first. Pop all your legs free later. A couple of strands of hair will catch them. So your the wee bit of plastic, which I've just put back on my desk and now I don't see. Cut another one. There it is. So Right, force this over the eye. And I'll get some thread ready to go. I'm going to use orange. I've got orange thread here. Flymaster. It doesn't really matter what you use in this for this. You know, you're only tying the Weedguard. It's no like it really matters as far as like the structure of the fly. So catch this off. You'll see the plastic will sort of guide that in behind the hook eye. Lovely. Just leave my tag end, which I'm not just disrupting too much. And then I'm going to feed this through. See where I want it, which is there. I'm going to flatten it. Over a decent length of the material there, just so I've got sort of room to play. Get up a bit further. So I catch that, and I just catch both pieces at the same time, right? And just tie back, tie back, tie back, tie back. And that's it, right? That's not going anywhere. I can come in my flush cutters, come in nice and close, take the Weedguard away. Take the waste piece away of that thread. Hitch is fine. Put that tight, and then we'll come in and just a wee. Oops. It's a bit tricky. This I'm very tight for space. Get a wee bit finish in. Tighten it, trim, and then snip that, tear it away. You can give everything a wee last check. Got a wee couple of fuzzy bits of thread, so I'm just going to come in with my thread zapper, zap them away. Make sure you're happy, which I am. And then you can just come in and put these, they'll separate. Just stretch them. I mean, they'll separate when you fish it anyway, but with this leggy mass at the back. I don't like it too long. Something like that. It's fine. And there you go. Wee crazy leg spider It's a cool little pattern, good bug. Just come in with a shot of cement, just as ordinary cement here. I let that flood the eye. Clean it out. And there you go, fly's done. Tie some of these up, whap them in amongst the lily pads, give them a wee twitch, and wait for the blow up. Oh, just spotted a couple of stray hairs. They were obviously in the masking tape. So you can just, oh, watch your legs. You can just come in, tidy that up a wee bit at the back there with the scissors. Right, I don't need to come in with the razor blade again, the scissors are fine. But there you go, that's a good bug, tightly packed, it will float for ages. Treat it with floating. You know, you'll be fishing all day with this. Or your entire session, all morning. It's a good fly. So tie some up. I know it was a long video, but I hope it was useful and I hope you enjoyed it. So tight lines, guys. I'll see you for another one.